Holy shit. He said what?
This commission says the damage being done from Harry here could actually stop people trusting charities altogether. His mother would be ashamed, P. Dino.
To be honest, it's a last resort. Really, what Prince Harry wanted to do was to eject me from the organization, and this went on for months. It went on for months through bullying, harassment. I have documentation.
Now, of course, Harry is trying to present himself the victim of all of this.
What happens when the very charity created to honor Princess Diana's legacy, the one that was supposed to carry her torch of compassion, is dragged straight into the ugliest royal circus imaginable? Buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you will make your jaw hit the floor. Sentebale, once a shining, pure-hearted symbol of hope for HIV-positive children in Africa, is now a dumpster fire of royal drama. And who's right there at the center of this chaos? Meghan Markle, with her relentless ego and knack for stirring the pot wherever she goes. And don't go thinking Prince Harry is some helpless bystander. Oh no, he's been right there in the middle of it, tangled up in bullying accusations, high-profile legal battles, and public meltdowns that have left the charity gasping for air. But the woman who's truly shaken this royal scandal to its core is Sophie Chandaka, Sentebale's chair, the one who dared to look Meghan straight in the eye and say, "Enough." Sophie is now blowing the lid off everything, accusing Meghan of single-handedly destroying what once was a noble cause. We're talking about a deep dive into how Meghan's toxic brand seeped into a revered charity, how Harry's own behavior fanned the flames, and how this disaster unfolded in real time. Trust me, this isn't just another royal scandal. This is a story of total destruction, and it's still unraveling.
He throws a mega strop, quits the charity that he set up in honor of his mother in a massive win for Dr. Sophie Chandaka, a woke black woman who finally had enough with the bullying, with the relentless, inappropriate pursuits from both the Duke and his awful wife, Meghan Markle.
Sentebale was never meant to end this way. It began as a heartfelt promise to carry on Diana's mission, helping children with HIV in Lesotho and Botswana. But while the headlines kept painting a picture of glossy galas and noble work, cracks had been forming behind the scenes for years. Then came Dr. Sophie Chandaka in 2023. She swept in as chair with fresh ideas, fierce energy, and zero interest in tiptoeing around royal egos. And that's where the trouble really began. See, Sentebale had always been tied to Harry's image, his good intentions, his late mother's legacy. But Sophie? She wasn't here to play palace politics. She wanted real change, especially targeting the US for post-COVID fundraising. The problem? Meghan's constant drama, paired with Harry's increasingly toxic public image, was sending donors running for the hills. Sophie wasn't afraid to say it out loud either. Harry's brand was poisonous. But let's be honest, everyone knew she meant Meghan. The diva antics, the never-ending media circus, they were choking the life out of the charity.
Sophie Chandaka had taken just as much of a hit as Prince Harry. Let me be clear, that is not the truth. What Prince Harry wanted out of this report was for the Charity Commission to completely vilify this very successful black woman, Dr. Sophie Chandaka, throw her off the board so that he could return as the White Knight and take the charity back. That didn't happen.
Then came April 2024, and with it, Sentebale's annual Polo fundraiser, a glamorous event meant to lift the charity's spirits and fill its coffers. But thanks to Meghan, it turned into a PR bloodbath. Uninvited and unapologetic, Meghan rolled up with Serena Williams and an entire Netflix crew, hijacking the moment to film her own little spectacle. She wasn't there for Sentebale. She was there to own the spotlight. She demanded to stand right next to Harry for the photos, elbowing Sophie aside like the charity chair was some irrelevant extra. Cameras caught it all, Meghan front and center, Sophie visibly bristling. It wasn't subtle, it was a power grab, plain and simple. Sophie didn't just grit her teeth and smile. She pushed back, publicly refusing to give Meghan her way. That's when the tension spilled into full view. An event that was supposed to raise money for kids became a royal showdown, and the fallout was immediate. Donations dried up, sponsors ghosted. The event collapsed under the weight of a mess no one signed up for. And sadly, that was just the opening act in this slow-motion collapse.
I want to show you what happened on stage, because it's not Dr. Sophie Chandoka who causes an issue, it is Meghan Markle.
Thank you very much. Such a great day here at Polo. Again, a big thanks to all those who provided horses.
You know, why not just let the lady stand where she wanted to stand? Is that so bad? Because Meghan is always trying to control the narrative.
What happened next? Predictable, and yet jaw-dropping. The Polo fiasco wasn't just bad PR, it was personal warfare. Sophie, already targeted by Meghan's stunt, suddenly found herself staring down a storm of bullying and manipulation. But here's the kicker. It wasn't just Meghan causing the trouble. Sophie accused Harry of trying to strong-arm her into downplaying Meghan's behavior, of twisting the narrative to protect his wife at all costs. Late-night calls, whispered threats, intimidation. Sophie said she felt hunted by a royal machine determined to shut her up, and she didn't stay quiet. She threw the doors wide open, alleging misogyny, harassment, and a toxic smear campaign. The charities mission? Forgotten. Now it was an all-out power struggle. Trust among trustees disintegrated. People were quitting left and right. Sophie dug in, fighting tooth and nail to keep her chair position, even hiring lawyers to block her removal. But while legal papers flew, Sentebale's stability crumbled. The whole boardroom became a battlefield of clashing egos and whispered sabotage. By this point, the charity wasn't just in trouble, it was on life support.
Meghan Markle didn't give a damn about that, didn't give a damn about the fact that Dr. Sophie Chandoka wasn't this very public person, didn't need to become embroiled in all of this. But yet again, it shows that Meghan's ego comes before anything else and could actually tear a charity apart.
Sophie wasn't about to roll over and vanish quietly. She fought back hard, but let's be honest. At this point, her fight wasn't about saving the charity anymore. It was about protecting her own position at the top of a sinking ship. Meanwhile, the air inside Sentebale had turned toxic. Meghan's name was still floating over everything like a storm cloud. The whispers about her role in the Polo fiasco hadn't died down. In fact, they'd gotten louder. But Sophie's war wasn't just with Harry and Meghan anymore. The rest of the board had started losing patience. Every single decision became a vicious battle. And stuck in the middle, the charity itself, shredded apart by egos, betrayal, and endless legal wrangling. The situation spiraled so badly that the Charity Commission had to step in, but by the time they did, the damage was irreversible.
Charities rely on passion to deliver for the people that they're created to serve. But alongside passion, there needs to be good governance and clear policies to enable them to deliver for those people they serve. In this case, those policies were not in place, and that led and enabled a dispute.
The charity's reputation shattered. Sponsors had already bolted. The donations had completely dried up. What was supposed to be a living tribute to Diana had been reduced to yet another casualty of royal dysfunction. By March 2025, Prince Harry had apparently had enough. In true dramatic fashion, he stormed out as patron of Sentebale, accusing Sophie and the board of attempting a hostile takeover. The timing, almost too convenient. Right as the organization was collapsing under scandal after scandal, Harry threw up his hands, declared himself done, and walked away, blaming everyone but himself. His exit wasn't just a frustrated tantrum, it was calculated. He wanted to save face, paint himself as the protector of Diana's legacy, even though, truthfully, that legacy had already been dragged through the mud. The hostile takeover claim? That was pure deflection. The reality was much darker. Meghan's PR stunts, her demands, and Harry's inability or unwillingness to rein her in had poisoned Sentebale from the inside out.
It's unbelievable to me that Harry has been so blinded by this woman, and he is not even putting his mother's legacy before, his wife and the things that she's doing that are so detrimental to this good.
And still, Harry wasn't about to own up to his role in the mess. Instead, he doubled down, blaming Sophie for the whole disaster. His camp went on the offensive, targeting Sophie online, fueling harassment campaigns, and trying to paint her as the villain in some royal soap opera. But while Harry's PR machine was working overtime, the charity itself was left for dead. His exit marked the final nail in the coffin. By August 2025, the Charity Commission released its findings. Harry was cleared of widespread bullying, But that small victory was drowned out by the rest of the report, which was a public roasting. The commission called out the mudslinging, the petty infighting, and the royal chaos that had turned a respected organization into a cautionary tale. Meghan's name wasn't splashed across the report, but make no mistake, her interference was woven through every scandalous thread. The report ripped into Harry for failing to control the circus. It blasted Sophie for making the legal battles so public. And it didn't spare the board either, labeling their leadership a complete failure. What was once a charity for children in Africa now looked like the set of a reality show gone wrong.
Reaction to losing Sentebale, and there are reports that potentially he could create a new rival charity.
And the fact that he's now talking about setting up a rival charity just shows how sick he is. Charity isn't about competition, for God's sake. It's about stopping poverty in Africa.
Sentebale wasn't just in trouble. It was a hollow shell of its former self. The trust it once had, gone. The credibility, obliterated. And here's the worst part. No one took responsibility. Sophie was branded a flamethrower, always throwing fuel on the fire with lawsuits and accusations. Harry walked away pretending he'd been wronged. Meghan, she vanished from the aftermath completely, leaving the wreckage behind her. The report made it crystal clear. Sentebale's collapse wasn't caused by one single mistake. It was the slow, painful result of unchecked egos, selfishness, and a total lack of accountability from everyone involved. By 2025, the charity's once healthy funding was gone. Millions in pledged donations had evaporated. Children in Lesotho who had relied on Sentebale's programs were left to face the consequences alone. Harry's dream of honoring his mother had crumbled into a toxic experiment gone wrong. And as if that wasn't enough, the fallout hit the royal family's public image like a wrecking ball. Critics who once gave Harry the benefit of the doubt turned on him completely, accusing him of abandoning the cause. Meghan's reputation, already on life support, took another massive blow in the public eye. But this wasn't the end of the drama, not by a long shot. The rumors started flying again, whispers of new lawsuits, more vicious infighting, and even more damaging royal secrets leaking into the press. The royals weren't being seen as noble public servants anymore. They were a walking scandal, and now their names were forever linked to the destruction of a charity that could have saved lives. Sentebale's collapse wasn't just about the charity dying. It was a flashing red warning sign about what happens when power, ego, and royal drama collide. Harry and Meghan had turned a noble cause into a battlefield, and the shockwaves are still rattling the monarchy today. And just when you think this is the final chapter, think again. The drama is spilling over into Harry's other projects. Veterans are now calling for Harry and Meghan to be banned from Invictus 2027. And the reason why will make your jaw drop. If you think this scandal was messy, you haven't seen anything yet.